Okay, this video is for the extra problems from section 5.1. So let me open that up for you. All right, and we'll work these real quick. All right, so in this case, we're trying to get sine theta, and we've been given cosine theta equals 3/4, and theta is in quadrant 1. So you want to use one of the trig identities that relates sine and cosine. So this one's going to be the Pythagorean identity, sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta equals 1. And I know cosine is 3/4. So that gives me sine squared theta plus 3/4 squared equals 1. That's a 4, not a 9. And that's going to be sine squared theta equals 9, plus 9/16 equals 1. Subtract 9/16 from both sides. So I get sine squared theta equals 16/16 minus 9/16. So sine squared theta equals 7/16. Take the square root. And that gives me sine of theta equals square root 7/4. We're in quadrant 1, and everything's positive in quadrant 1. So that's your final answer. All right, again, we're going to sine theta. This time we're going from secant theta. So if you're not sure which identity, we check your identity list. We're looking for an identity where secant and sine are related. So if I go up here and look, I'm going to try and go up here and look. It's not going to let me. Ooh, there we go. So I'm going for something that relates sine with secant, and I can go, actually, I'll go with secant as 1/cosine. That's what we'll start with. All right. Because, let's go with that. Let's see. So secant of theta is equal to 1/cosine theta, which means that 11/4 is equal to 1/cosine theta, which means that cosine theta equals 4/11. And then I can use the Pythagorean identity again. So sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta equals 1. So sine squared theta plus 4/11 squared equals 1. My 4s keep coming out like 9s with this pen. And that's going to give me sine squared theta plus 16/121 equals 1. Sine squared theta equals 121/121 minus 16/121. That's sine squared theta equals 105/121. Take the square root, and I get sine theta equals square root 105/11. Now I just got to figure out what quadrant I'm in. So I'm in a quadrant where cotangent is negative, which means tangent is negative, but secant is positive. So it can't be quadrant 1. So, and secant goes with cosine. So all students take calculus. So it must be quadrant 4, which means that sine is negative. So my final answer is negative square root 105/11. I could try to break down 105, but it breaks down to 5 and 21, and 21 only breaks down to 3 and 7. So there's not a breakdown further than that. Okay, and then there's one more that goes in this set right here. Let me move this stuff out of the way here. All right, so this time I've got sine is 2/3, and they want us to find the remaining trig functions. So easiest one to find is cosecant. I don't know what just made that happen. This new pen thing is new for me, because I'm just going to flip this over. We're in quadrant 2 where sine and cosecant are positive, so cosecant's right there. And then we can use sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta equals 1. So let me replace sine squared theta with 2/3. So let's do 2/3 squared plus cosine squared theta equals 1. So that's 4/9 plus cosine squared theta equals 1. So cosine squared theta equals 9/9 minus 4/9. Cosine squared theta equals 5/9. Take the square root. So cosine theta equals negative square root 5/3. It's negative because we're in quadrant 2, and the only things positive in quadrant 2 are sine and cosecant. So now I know that, which means I also know secant, because it goes with cosine. So I can flip this over, and I end up getting negative 3 square root 5/5 after rationalizing. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I just need tangent and cotangent. Well, if you remember, tangent of theta is sine over cosine. And since I know sine is, so tangent of theta is going to be 2/3, that's sine, divided by cosine, which is negative square root 5/3. Keep switch flip. So 2/3 times 3/square root 5. My 3's cancel. Rationalize, and I end up getting, I'm going to come over here and write it. Tangent of theta is 2 square root 5/5. And that's negative. And then that means cotangent is square root 5/2, because it's that flipped over. So that's all 6. So that is the answers to the ones that go with exercise 1. And we can stop with that right there. And I'll do the next one on a separate video.